Welcome back, folks, to our final race of the evening tonight, this time between Benji and Drogie here on GSA in our 70-star Mario 64 League. I'm Electric, and I'm hyped to commentate this last match of the evening for you. These guys are a little bit evenly matched. Benji, of course, has dethroned some top players, such as Cheese, in the past. Drogie, meanwhile, being the move up from the old D2 this season, has made a name for himself with a nice 49 PB, but of course Benji does have like a mid-low 48. So if you're looking for a favorite, Benji will probably be that guy, but Drogie definitely has the skill to be able to still pull this one out. As you can see here, Benji rounding out the top four with a 5-3 win-loss record, but Drogie a little bit further down with a 3-5 record. So should Drogie be able to take this, he could put himself all the way up in that 5th, 6th, 7th place roundup. Benji, however, really looking to just try to further solidify his standing as high up in the bracket as he can, and hopefully even deeper in the top 3 places in these coming weeks. But we're off to the races now, both runners getting started, and we're going to be off to a nice little race here. As you can see, Benji is using the Japanese version rather than the English version. The JP version does leave out a few sound effects, including the Princess Peach reading her letter monologue. So you do get a faster start on JP, but each text box takes 11 frames to be scrollable on Japanese, whereas on English they only take 9. So if all the text boxes had the exact same like number of scrollings required, English would be faster already. But you will also see right here, once they start the run, Benji will have 3 text boxes to scroll through, Drogie will have 2. And that's just because the Japanese characters are so large. In some cases, the developers opted to just put in 3 boxes instead of 2 or 4 instead of 3, just to make room for all the text. Whereas on English, the font size is fairly small. And so Benji going to be getting a ledge grab there. Drogie, however, getting Lakitu skip dead on and is going to be saving that nice 9 seconds with the ledge grab fail on Benji's side. So already getting himself off to a nice start. But yeah, because of the text boxes that we see in 70, it is ultimately faster to run the game on the English version by about 2 to 3 seconds, just solely due to how text scrolls. Drogie getting a ground pound there instead of a long jump, but getting started on bomb clip nicely now. What's happening here in bomb clip is the players are going to try to grab the bomb as it's exploding, and the bomb's hitbox gets bigger while it's exploding. So since Mario holds the bomb the same distance away from himself, there's actually an intersection of Mario's hitbox with the bomb's hitbox. And in 3D games, that should never happen. It's like 2 objects occupying the same exact space. So the game separates them by applying speed to both. The Bob-omb doesn't move, but Mario gets a lot of negative speed that allows him to clip through the wall. You'll see later in Pillarless, it's just an extension of that concept. But it all starts with the fact that grabbing a bomb while it's exploding gives you negative speed. But we're done with bomb clip, done with BOB for now. Now moving on into the slide. I'm going to go ahead and guess a 12-8 from Benji, 12-7 from Drogie. Nicely done from Drogie. You want to see player like rebound off of that particular wall as close to the left as they can. It gives you a really, really nice angle to have a lot of speed going into the ending here. So 12-7s on both sides, really nicely done. 12-7s are really, really solid times. And now we go ahead and move into Whomp's Fortress. Thanks so much, CS Raver. Whomp's Fortress, as I said in a previous race, this stage, just you lose a lot of time for really little mistakes. Drogie having a lot of accidental pounds, and you can see kind of the upset on his face there. Losing a lot of his edge from getting Lakitu skip against Benji's fail. I'm going for texture setup here. The way that Drogie missing texture though, as Benji going for the full setup and does get it. So nicely done from Benji. And it's definitely going to be ahead of Drogie now. So what you're doing with texture setup is you're looking at the texture of the plank. It has like these dark lines periodically, and you're trying to align Mario's ledge grabbed left hand with one of those particular darker grains. You want his hand to be just slightly left of it. The big problem though is when you're adjusting his feet to make sure that he'll ledge grab in that spot, it can be difficult to very precisely navigate Mario just slightly left as you're moving him down. So even though you can visually see exactly where his hand needs to be, you may not be able to reliably move him into that position. And so, and there's also very little leeway between what works and what doesn't. Sometimes something can look like it should be able to work, but it just won't work. But now we're going to be seeing 100 coin coming out. Benji going for Pro Cycle here with 100 coin. So this is the hardest way of doing 100 coin. He grabbed as many coins as he possibly can at the beginning in order to still be able to make this moving platform cycle coming up here. And you'll see this platform start to move, and he's going to be able to land on it right there. Which star are you talking about, CS? Just so I know like which one to address. Drogie also going to be doing the Pro Cycle here. And there's just no room for error doing this cycle. Like, with the full cycle, if you make a major mistake, like ground pounding instead of long jumping, you're probably missing the cycle. But, or like a mistake like this, even with full cycle movement, Drogie would have to back up with half cycle. But, like, the difference is, like, when you do pro cycle movement, you can't even lose a little bit of time to a slope or just something dumb happening. Drogie bonking a wall and just falling right off, going to be missing yet another cycle. He was trying to convert with the half cycle movement, but that's not going to be happening either. You're just going to have to wait all this out. Nice slide kick. Nice slide kick to go ahead and get that blue, though. So texture setup saves approximately, I believe it's like 2 seconds or like 1.5 seconds or so over the full setup with the backflip. When you miss cannonless at all, you're losing 6 seconds going to wild blue for it. So, like, adding that up, like, the time from the setup being faster against, like, he probably lost about 4.5 seconds or so. Yeah, exactly right, PC. Like, the cycles are extremely unforgiving throughout this stage. One star that, fortunately, does not involve a cycle is the King Whomp fight. So, let's get some errors out as we go ahead and just knock him out with a few quick ground pounds. And you see Benji actually like kicking around the outside of the Whomp. That strat is a little harder than it might initially look because the Whomp's hitbox extends a fair bit to his sides, like that you don't see. Okay, here's my Whomp impression coming up on Drogie's side. I hope that was accurate. Nice quick pounds. If you try to jump like as the Thwomp is raising his hands, that's a pretty nice visual cue. Now top of the fortress coming out from Benji. This start can be a tad finicky, but you do have more time than you might think to like walk around on top of the fortress and set yourself up for that triple jump. So you can make it work pretty well, pretty reliably. Benji now moving on to his second slide. I think he's going to improve to a 12.6 this time around. And one odd thing about this particular cycle is like you saw Drogie had some sloppiness with his movement getting up here. For some reason, like I don't think that platform actually loads until like you get on top of the fortress. So like as long as you don't mess up on your movement up the slope, you can almost definitely still get the strat, even if you mess up beforehand. And both players having an issue getting back up to their second slide. Benji keeping it consistent with the 12.7. I think Drogie's going to get a 12.8 this time. Thanks so much, Captain. We've got some flying coming out from Benji. Flying is a very nuanced thing. In this particular case, when you have like a very wide open area to fly around in, you actually don't want to manually ascend. So like when you pull the stick back is when Mario will like manually start to pull his nose up and lose speed. If you want to do this star optimally, all your movement can only be like descending movement or just angled movement. So like this star is mainly just an exercise in doing as much as you can with only up, left, and left. When you watch players like D-Whatever do it with an input display, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Like it's just, you really never do the manual ascension. On other stars like Red Hot Log Rolling and LLL, you will do the manual pullback. Drogie actually missing a coin here, losing a little bit of time trying to re-grab it. But on this particular star, like it's an exercise in trying to go fast by relinquishing a degree of control. And it takes a lot of time to get as skilled as these players have at it. Now Benji missing the switch at first, so taking a death. That's going to pretty well even out the score. Drogie a lot closer than he was before. And already Benji would have been in a world of hurt trying to get Shig Cycle with that missed switch press. All right, now Drogie using an angled camera there to make it easier to get an angle on that long jump setup. Angling your long jumps like that gives you a little extra time on making this elevator cycle coming up here. All right, a nice Shig Cycle from Benji on the second attempt here. And Drogie will likely be doing the same now that he's got that movement onto the pointed island. Really nice and early. Sweet. All right. Now, Benji goes for the side flip wall kick setup. Not getting the wall kick on that first try, but it's still fine. And that side flip wall kick is actually faster than... oh, Drogie also doing the side flip wall kick. That's faster than doing 2 wall kicks unless your 2 wall kicks are both firsties. So in case you're new to watching the game, a firstie is when you wall kick on the first possible frame against a wall. And the momentum that you get leaving the wall is actually higher than what you had going towards the wall. On every other frame you can wall kick, the game cuts your momentum slightly, but for some reason on the first frame, that same calculation actually gives you more speed. So getting 2 firsties there launches you like towards that slope at the end very fast. All right, both players now done with Dark World. Benji taking a little bit of time lost due to that early death, but not losing that much time and resulting in a really nice and close race moving on into the rest of lobby. So we got one more quick star in BOB, just a quick little sky jump to do. All right. Sky jump can be a little finicky when you're learning it, but once you've gotten consistent at it and practice it enough, it's fairly easy. It does exploit kind of a weird mechanic in flying. When you first do that triple jump, you actually want to hold up left, then move down 2 left. And you'll hear in the audio, Mario will make like 2 woohoo noises. And that means he's actually like going into the ascension animation twice, which actually results in you getting more height while still maintaining speed. And if you don't hold up left to like start a descension when you start your flying, like it actually will result in you not getting enough height to get up to the island. So it's like another thing that it's kind of weird to figure out how exactly you should time it, but that is something that's necessary, that little bit of tech, just kind of exploiting the fact that like when you're pushing forward and then pull back, the game knows to always give you like extra upwards height with that. And just doing it right at the beginning just gives you more height than you should reasonably get. Drogie taking a bit of a bonk on wall kicks will work, but luckily the bonk didn't cost him that much or anything. Benji, though, with nice, clean execution on that. And now a quick little rush up on the penguin here. And this is another like weird thing with JP versus English. On JP, the star spawns on top of the penguin's head, but on English, you have to go a little bit to the side for it. Your thing's semi-old. It's a little hard sometimes to keep explanations concise, but I try to always be accurate with what I'm saying and not just go, the game gets confused. So Benji committing to CCM 18 as well as Drogie here. Doing the slide star on its own like this means that you are going to be getting 100 coin with the penguin race star. So by the time we leave LLL, we want to have 30 stars exactly so we can go straight to Fire Sea and DDD without having to go to HMC while we're on that first trip into the basement. And in order to do that, we either need to get 18 stars here and just do SSL with 1+, or get 17 stars here and grab an extra star in SSL with plus a second time. You'll see here, this 100 coin star isn't too difficult. There can be a little bit of variation with the timing, like depending on just weird stuff happening. But overall, this star is fairly consistent. And you'll see with SSL with plus, more than likely one of these runners will make some kind of mistake on it. So Drogie missing that first red there, and instead of opting to go back and waste like 2 to 3 seconds, he's just going to forgo like using that red that he did grab as a safety and instead is just going to do this star a little bit risky. But Benji did grab the safety red, so he's a lot safer. There are just enough coins on this slide that if Drogie misses one, he will have exactly 100 closing out the slide. Benji, meanwhile, does have a bit more leeway, and that's the one coin that Drogie can miss. He cannot miss another coin on this slide. He's doing well so far. These next few pairs are really the ones that can get kind of iffy because the penguin can actually push you out of the way of them if you're not careful. But he's got perfect coin count now. So, okay, good. If you miss too many coins, when the star spawns at the bottom, it like goes away if you leave the cabin. And if you don't have 100 coins at the bottom like this, you pretty much just have to leave the cabin. What is Benji doing? Okay, never mind. I looked over at Benji's screen and saw him sliding back down with the star still in the air and thought that he never grabbed it. I forgot that when you grab a star, like the star still hangs around for a couple seconds after the animation is over. That scared the heck out of me. I was really afraid Benji was just leaving without his 100 coin star, which would have just been devastating. Anyway, we're all done with CCM and all the potential time loss it can provide. Both players having this many stars going into BBH means that SSL only has one real point of inconsistency. But we'll talk about that when we get there. First off, Benny's Brewhouse, the big boo's on. Benji opting for the really nice and comfy just wall kick off that balcony. Drogie opting for the less comfy wall kick off the same balcony but for a different star. And Drogie's camera angle here is actually pretty important. This is such a dumb quirk, but if you enter the house in Mario Cam C down, the camera on the roof is okay. It's normal. But if you don't enter with Mario Cam C down, when you get to the roof or anywhere in the house, the game will not let you Mario Cam C down. So you can have a really nice camera on the roof, but you have to go with a kind of suboptimal camera for the rest of the house. But that is the only camera angle that looks normal on the roof. If you just go up there with Lakitu cam like Benji did, the only other cam that you really have access to is just standard Mario cam, which is just so zoomed in that you can't really do anything productive with it. But both players are able to pull off Boo Star really nicely. Benji just with slightly less visibility, but that star is actually very consistent, once you grind it, even as weird as the camera angle seems to be. And now we've got Pillarless coming up in SSL. So this trick that they're about to do is, like I said earlier in this run, it's an extension of Bomb Clip. It involves that same concept of grabbing a bomb while it's exploding, but taken to a much higher extreme. So on Bomb Clip and BOB, it's okay if a player grabs the bomb when it's at its medium size or at a biggest size. And that's... it doesn't matter which one you get for BOB's bomb clip, it's the same strat. But here, you really want to get the big bomb that has the most speed. And in order to do that, you have to grab the bomb on the very last frame of its explosion animation, so it's a frame-perfect input. And now, Benji going for Tomopless and succeeding here. So the additions over what you did in BOB is here, you have to re-grab the bomb through a jump dive. Re-grabbing the bomb during that weird exploding state puts the bomb in a state known as hands-free, where the game still has the bomb located near Mario like he's holding it, but it doesn't actually call it holding the bomb. So then Mario is able to do things he shouldn't normally be able to do while holding an object, like jump in a double jump, or a ground pound, or other things like that. The only caveat is you cannot press the stick when Mario is not in a busy state. By busy state, I just mean Mario's in the middle of some other action, in midair or sliding up a slope. But if he's just standing on the ground, sliding backwards with backward speed, that does not count as a busy state. You push the stick during that, the bomb instantly explodes. So you have to do all of your adjustment to make sure your angle is facing the pyramid, while you're on a slope or in midair or something else. The Drogie here, going for a standard regrab here, and so now he's in that hands-free state. You see him doing these jumps and ground pounds, has to do a very precise double jump there to clear that gap to the pyramid. And then finally, with his backward speed, he's able to clip right on top and grab this quick star. Now, if these players had done the CCM 17 route, they would have had to do that trick twice and grab the secret star in the pyramid in addition to the one that they grabbed. So, Benji taking a little bit of a burn there, but landing right back on the platform, so no big deal. And a bit of a big hop actually grabbing the star, but again, not too painful. So yeah, I hope that short explanation of plus made sense. Basically, you grab the bomb while it's exploding like in Bob, but then you do some other shenanigans and it lets you go all the way to the pyramid and clip through. That's the short of it. Now we got Benji heading on into the volcano, likely for lava boost here. And he's actually going with the pro setup on lava boost here. Oh, not getting his second burn. He can still back this up pretty well. Okay, he's just going to grab this extra coin here and go with elevator tour instead. Doesn't have enough coins to do lava boost again or anything like that. Yeah, this run happened in 1996. This is two of the developers racing each other at the game. It just took us 20 years to figure out all these strats as casual viewers. All right, Drogie advancing over to some bullies. Yeah, Benji losing a little bit of time inside the volcano, but not too major. He can definitely still like have a decent LLL even with that. I doubt he's going to be going for Pro Boost again, though. Pro Boost just requires... Yeah, he's long jumping this time around. Very smart. So this long jump boost, like, when you long jump at the lava waterfall, all there is to it is, as long as you're long jumping to the reliable spot, you hold down right just before Mario hits the lava waterfall. He, like, does a curve kind of in front of the waterfall, and then once he passes a certain part towards the right, you just pop right up to left, up, something like that. It's just at those 2 points you move the stick to a notch and you're done. That's it. The pro boost that he tried to do before that is like when you hit the lava waterfall, you slide the stick smoothly up to a position. Then like after the second burn, slide it smoothly again. Like it's a lot more precise on the movement you have to do to get to each position. Whereas with long jump boost, it's all about just hitting the notch at the right time. Just very quick, easy. And that's why you see so many runners do long jump boost in races, is it's just very consistent. I hope no one actually believed me. I was being completely sarcastic. This is a pre-recorded run, but like it happened in the past week pre-recorded. Our pre-recorded runs are just the runners sit down and like do a race as if it was live, but instead of being restreamed live for all of you, it's just recorded in the back room. So it's not like these runners submit a run for a pre-recorded race. This is still a true race. It's just it happened at some other time, and this is the live premiere of that race. And we do that because of all of our runners being from such drastically different time zones. We want everyone to be able to compete on their own schedules whenever it's comfortable for them. So by not restricting them just to our live blocks, runners have a lot more flexibility in when they're able to do their races. So nice volcano stars coming out from Drogie, and with that, he does have a slight lead over Benji. Benji just having a bit of issues throughout Fire Sea, or LLL. I'm sorry, I get my pure lava with a few platforms in the middle stages confused a fair amount. But enough of lava stages and fire stages. We get to cool off real quick with some nice fun in the sun. This is Radio MARIO coming at you with our summer beach mix. This is the ambient tune of whoever composed this game. I don't actually know. Dire Docks. Enjoy. So we got some nice chest movement down here. Swimming is an art form that has to be practiced a lot to get good at it. I believe Drogie is actually still the single star record holder for this chest star. Yeah, I almost definitely Koji Kondo, but I'm just not certain of that. I think that's it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. And like part of the nuance in doing this star well is getting the fourth chest. Like Benji's going for a really nice tight turn, but because of how close he came to the vortex, he's losing a little bit of time to the way Drogie did that. But he still had, like, for getting so close to the vortex, that was still nice execution because he still got the good camera angle. When you lose a lot of speed swimming away from the fourth chest, it's easy for the camera to catch the vortex while the star spawn animation is happening, and that still causes lag. So like you could lose like a second or two just to how the camera is pointing during the star spawn. We got Drogie and Benji heading on over to the submarine. I believe Benji will be going with rear sub. Yeah, Benji's setting up his cam for rear sub. You can tell which strat the players are going for based on what direction their camera is pointing during that middle hallway. If it's pointing the way that like Benji's was, where it's pointing at the right side of the hallway, that means they're doing rear sub. But if it's pointing at the left side of the hallway and Mario's more on the left side, then that means that they're doing front sub instead. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I figured it was Goji. And a nice quick Manta Star coming out from these players. Oh, Benji barely getting that second ring, but still working out. There is actually a bug with how those rings spawn. So like the hitbox for the rings doesn't actually correspond with what you see on the screen. The first 6 are relatively fine, but after that, they just start becoming like sideways hitboxes. So they're really hard to hit. Okay, Fire Sea coming on up. Drogie on nice lava boost pace so far. Going for that double wall kick there. So clean so far. He's got his triple jump out. Just needs his last movement to execute well. Nice jump dive, and he's good. Yeah, there it is. Very nice. This stage definitely has the tightest cycle out of any. Like if you mess up a little bit in Dark World, you can still pretty reliably make Shake Cycle, but the timing is very, very tight here. Like these players have like maybe an additional second or so on top of like the pace that they hit that lava boost with. So like when you consider that, like even a minor mistake like ground pounding somewhere that you shouldn't can easily cost you a lava boost cycle. Benji having a little bit of an issue with his bad ending here, having to take a really bad ending instead. Stupid Poke Nerd. I hate saying your username because it sounds like I'm antagonizing you. Anyway, the Manta doesn't spawn until you've completed the first star of the stage. Whenever you select Board Bowser's stub, it doesn't spawn the Manta. Like if you go back and rewatch the substar, you'll notice the Manta wasn't even there. And even if you do a star like Chess in the Current and select that instead of Board Bowser's sub, the game knows like you haven't completed Board Bowser's sub, so it still uses the Board Bowser sub layout. Like it's the same reason that you have to do Top of the Fortress last in Whomp's Fortress, or like you have to do that star after chip off Whomp's block at least, because until you've completed that star, no matter what else you select, the tower will not spawn. So it's the same thing here. Like you could technically do Manta Ray after Board Bowser's sub, but then the castle movement would be longer. Like if you didn't do Chess in the Current earlier, because it takes like an extra couple seconds or so to get to the painting when it's moved back like it is. So yeah, that's why they do Manta Ray last instead of doing something else last. Is you already have to do Board Bowser sub before it just for the Manta to even spawn, and it makes more sense to do Chess in the Current like alongside Board Bowser sub or beforehand, so that like you don't waste time on castle movement. Anyway, though, both of our players threw Fire Sea. It looked like they both got Lava Boost. Or at least, like, I know Drogie did, and Benji probably at the very least got early Ellie's based on his movement here. That's right, he just had the bad ending. It was just a Bowser fight that I missed. Talking about that. But anyway, going on through 100 coin, this is actually the most RNG heavy star in the game because there are so many coin spawns in the middle. Anytime that a coin spawns from you killing an enemy or you breaking a box, the RNG function that just generates a random number for use in whatever it needs to be used for gets called 3 separate times. So the game generates a random value for the X, Y, and Z velocity of each and every individual coin. So each of these 10 coin boxes all have 30 points of potential RNG that can go bad. And it like a coin can be bad even if 2 of the RNG values are okay, but the third velocity is really high. The coin will just go flying in one direction. So you like with each of these 10 coin boxes, you have to have 30 individual RNG calls go your way in order to have good RNG. And most of your coins do come from sources like that. So Yeah, this star is very RNG heavy. It's hard to actually like develop good muscle memory for this star because the way you have to approach it can be different every time. Yeah, Pan and Koic has a good video like explaining exactly how the coin RNG works, and I believe depending on what the source of the coin is, there's a different weight applied to the function. Like I believe coins that come from like cork boxes have more or enemies have more volatile RNG than those that come from the like exclamation point boxes. But I'm not certain on that. Pan and Koic's video is like really good on explaining exactly how it works though. I don't believe that Drogie did. That strat actually only saves time if you get really good coin spawn RNG. It can actually lose you time if the RNG is bad over not going for it at all. And now some quick spider kills and nice strat from Benji there doing the triple awning kick there. That's one of the like more delicate techs in the game that takes a lot of time to get consistent. You can wall kick over a wall that seems to be a perfect awning for the wall you just kicked off of. Both players I think did like the standard double box break. Sorry, I misunderstood what you meant, CS Raver. There's some people that will do a second double box break that I personally call a double. And that strat is the one that you very rarely see. That's my bad. I misunderstood what you were asking. But anyway, what dry roll done. Drogie now in the middle of THI. THI secret's a little bit of a volatile star. That's another point where a bunch of lag comes into play is around that third secret. You want to use a close-up camera angle to Mario to reduce that lag as much as you can. And then now we got Drogie heading right over to the final star there. Not even needing a ledge grab. All right, now Benji getting started on his own secrets. Drogie, though, likely going to the top of the island real quick. Benji trying to go... Oh, nice little backup there. He was going to try to go for the island clip there, but knowing that his position was weird, he just opted to use that same speed to just get on top of the island. And that's actually... Benji has really good awareness there. So... on the right-hand side of that little island that you land on, there's actually a warp point that takes you back to like some other point in the stage. And if you come up from a ledge grab with a fast get up, Mario waits on the platform just briefly before he starts moving. If you get up with a slow ledge grab, he moves instantly. That little timing difference is enough time for the warp to activate. So if you ledge grab on the right side of that platform, you want to do a slow ledge grab, which should lose time, but if you do the fast ledge grab, you'll take the warp and lose way more time. So it may have looked like Benji screwed up there, but that was actually really good awareness and did save him time in the end. And it's mainly, if you grab that coin, there's a fair chance that you are taking the warp. All right, now Drogie going to be advancing into TTM in just a moment as Benji goes ahead and kills a few piranhas real quick. All right, mountain clip number 1 coming out from Drogie. If anyone hasn't really seen this before and is very confused by what's going on, bodies of water in this game pull Mario up into them. So they actually, when Mario lands in any body of water, it snaps him to the surface, then calculates based on his downward speed how far down to push you into the water. So with those two out of bounds bodies of water, when you jump out of the first one and go under the second one, the game's like, oh, okay, Mario just hit this body of water. Let's snap him to the top. But since you don't have that much downward speed, it only pushes you down a little bit. So it basically acts like an up warp. The Dug Man, they're actually 2 separate maps. So depending on which painting you enter, it like loads you into one map or the other. And then when you go into one of the pipes, it's the same thing. The pipes just serve as a loading zone. You can think of it the same way as like the difference between the outer area and the pyramid in SSL. Those are technically 2 separate maps that are just associated with the same stage. Yeah, poor Toad. And also, for those wondering about this mountain clip, weird things happen when you try to dive against a slope like this. Like, That seam just lets Mario through very easily. It's a little weird to explain, but it just like when you dive while walking against that seam, it's very easy to get Mario's hitbox to just clip right through. So nice top of the mountain star from Benji. Drogie with a quick mushroom star here. And that's one instance where you have to wonder if the devs like kind of had speedrun strats in mind while designing this game. Like there's no real apparent reason for that crazy box to be there. It just kind of is. It's a weird source of coins. Like it, as a casual player, it doesn't make any sense, but it's just with how easy it is to get yourself to the mushroom with it. Like you have to imagine the devs put it there thinking like, even if we don't know how to use it, someone will figure out someday. Drogie with a little bit of an issue on Reds. Reds is one of the most technical stars in the stage and is an easy point of death on these mushrooms here. Oh, it's the same thing, Doug, man. They're not actually the same painting. The smaller painting leads you to one memory address, and the bigger painting leads you to a different one. Even though the star select is the same, the game knows based on which painting you entered to load a different map. It's not actually the same level. Like, if you, like, let's say that both are located around address 1600, the small island might be 1601 and the big island is 1602. And based on which painting you enter is which one the game takes you to. Yeah, like FRDS said, that wall clip, like watching the pan-in video will make it make a lot more sense. Also, thanks so much, Deacon. All right, one more star left for Benji in TTM, but Drogie's gonna be moving right along to Snowman's land. That is not the case, FRDS. Like, I mean, the bigger painting is actually bigger, but like more than anything. Oh, I see what you're asking now. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's what FRDS said. My bad. I completely misinterpreted the question. That's my bad. Jesus, I would join the GSA Associates Discord and let someone know that you're interested, and they'll guide you like through all the remaining steps. But it's very easy to get involved if you want to get involved. The main thing is just like learning as much as you can and making sure that you can have like a good performance when you do start. But yeah. Definitely like join the GSA Associates Discord. Just join the Discord and you'll find a lot of information there. Nice deep freeze from both players here. Commentator getting a little bit distracted looking at chat over and over and such. And I'm in that Discord, and if you at me, I'll send you a DM with like a bunch of personal information that I've sent other people that have expressed an interest in commentary. But we'd love to have you. So definitely join the Discord and send out a couple messages. Nice box break from Benji there. That ground pound is like virtually blind. These players, as you can see, make it easier by zooming in right before it, but it's still just a large source of inconsistency before you've practiced it a bunch. All right, now Drogie heading back down to HMC. This might seem really weird to most people, but here's what's happening. The Toad star that you get here only spawns after 50 stars have been collected. So it makes sense to do a revisit of the basement. This star is fast enough and doesn't involve a star select or like a true save and continue screen. So like it is a very fast star to get in this run. It doesn't take that much time. And like, because you're able to skip out on another star, it's just worth it to delay HMC to this point. You're still able to get 30 stars before heading to Fire Sea without dealing with HMC. So this route, even though it seems like it should lose time, when you time everything out, it actually saves 1 second, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the biggest advantage is like the MIP star is very consistently fast. You will almost never lose like any time to it unless you just miss MIPs entirely. Whereas the normal star that you would do instead, SL Reds, was the star that was part of the older route. That star, you could lose like a couple seconds here and there to just your shell movement not being optimal. And it's just nice to be able to have HMC before you have to go up to Tippy. You've dealt with a lot of really hard stages in TTM, SL, like you're just going through upstairs has been hard. But HMC acts as a kind of like calm before the storm that is Tippy. So really the benefits are more so like mental and like just with consistency rather than just the pure time save of this route. Nice, amazing emergency exit from Drogie. That strat there does lose like I think a quarter second or so over the right side strat. If the right side strat is done perfectly. If you even ledge grab on anything with the right side strat, this strat is faster. All right, now Benji going for Christmas Miracle. This star is just weird. The switch press, as you can see, can just not work for like little reason, and you have to do this like backup strat called Shig Drop, short for Shigeru Drop, which is actually named after the same player that Shigeru Cycle in Dark World was named after. Like not getting the switch to be pressed down. A lot of players will say different things as to like what actually affects it. A lot of the things I've heard have had to do with like the way Mario moves in between frames can affect it, which is why you dive when you do. I've heard other people say like it's based on your height that you're dropping down from. If you drop down from high enough, you will be able to hit the switch reliably. A lot of people say different things, but the short of it is it's inconsistent to get the switch every time unless you've just grinded it like crazy. But yeah, what I've personally noticed is that you seem to get it more reliably if you get the most height from your triple jump before your wall kick, and you get like an early frame wall kick and hold A as long as possible. I think it's mostly a height thing, but I've had other people say otherwise, so I'm not completely certain. And Drogie there actually like missing the exit course for just a moment, but he's got it now. He's headed on up to Tippy. Tippy is known by many different names. The Great Equalizer, the Big Suck. Like there's just a lot of ways to refer to this area. It's the last two stages of the game, and they're both supposed to be in casual play. Just a really nice, fun send-off for the most advanced Mario players. Rainbow Ride is this exercise in just abject minimalism. You just have a bunch of platforms thrown together in the sky and go collect some stars on it. And in casual play, it's supposed to be this like kind of whimsical stage. You ride on carpets everywhere, and you know it's just a nice, fun experience, kind of. But for a speed run, we don't like carpets at all. So we do this thing, Lakitu Bounce here, to get up on Cruiser Crossing, which Drogie was nicely able to do first try. That strat can be very difficult, especially for newer runners. And Benji here, you see, wanting to avoid the carpet, doing left side tricky triangles here. Getting this ledge grab on the left side is much more precise than getting it on the right-hand side there, but it does save a little bit of time. So yeah, this first stage is already very brutal because unlike most of the stages in this game, which are based on like a mountain or an island or like a valley or something, this stage is just in the sky platforms, you fall, you're dead. There's no safety net. And Drogie going for the 5 slide there, but completely missing it, narrowly avoiding the flame. Just a little bit too low to get that slide on the 5th red coin there. Now Benji going on in for Lakitu Bounce. Second try here. So Doug Man, what's happening there? If you grab the very bottom of a pole, Mario's like animation of going whoa and like actually like grabbing on brings him slightly lower, which results in him falling off the pole. So what you're seeing there is the players actually mashing B to repeatedly get him to start the grab animation, and if you hit B on the very first frame of him falling back off, he actually does gain just enough height to be able to fully grab the pole and stop falling off. So like that glitchy animation is them mashing to try to get that proper frame on one of their regrabs. And that's also why you see a number of players will... Oh, Benji actually messing up swinging in the breeze here. And taking a lot of rage pausing for little reason there. I mean, the backup here is fairly easy to do. Oh, and he's actually doing the super backup. Okay. You don't see a lot of players try to back it up that way. Most of the time, you'll see players try to do a triple jump off of a lower flame shooter. It is possible. Well, okay, so when you hit B while you're already on the pole, I don't think it doesn't make you dismount the pole. The issue would be like if you're mashing B and like somehow accidentally hit A or something like that. But most of the time, the bigger issue is mainly just like being able to mash fast enough. You'll see some players will like purposely just do like they're mashing in pairs, like da 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 da, like in order to maximize the chance that they can hit the button close enough together. Because it's hard to like do a true mash fast enough to actually hit that input. But yeah, no, you don't see people like hit B too many times and jump off because hitting B too many times won't make you fall. But anyway, Rainbow Ride done. Now moving into TTC. TTC 100 is just brutal. It's the hardest 100 coin star in this route. Whereas Rainbow Ride is an exercise in minimalism, TTC is the only stage with vertical platforming design rather than horizontal. Every other stage has you go maybe a little bit up something like a mountain, but it's mostly flat ground with a little bit of a slope. But this stage is just a solid cylinder with stuff spread all the way around the outside. And unfortunately, the game isn't exactly made to be a vertical platformer like this. So you'll see instances of what we refer to as invis-walls. Contrary to the way we say that, they're not actually invisible walls left by the developers, but rather what's happening is somewhere lower down in the clock, there is a texture that the game recognizes as a ceiling due to its angle that there is no floor over. And as part of its code to prevent you from like going over a normal ceiling, the game has it stipulated that any like texture that is that angle, Mario can't go above it unless there is a floor between him and that texture. So like the pendulums are really where it has the biggest chance of happening. Like one of the lower pendulums, one of the textures on it can be angled slightly. And because of that, there's a ceiling without a floor above it. And so all the area above that, the game will not let Mario travel into. And it makes it look like he just hits an invisible wall. You see those instances in brief cases in other stages, but this stage is really where you see them a ton. But we haven't seen any invisible walls so far, and the biggest instance where you would see them is in the middle of TTC 100. And fortunately, we haven't. Benji just having a little bit of an issue with his ending here, trying to do a swag backflip over the Whomp there. He's just not, oh man, he's wasting a lot of time trying to do this triple jump back up. There's like a long jump or a backflip back up that you can do that's very consistent there. Ultimately, he lost a decent amount of time due to that. Just not wanting to go with another backup strat instead. And Drogie's just cruising along, 3 more stars in TTC already. Benji's pretty much just grabbed that 100 coin. Benji now with the time moving triples here. Oh, diving just a little bit under roll into the cage. Drogie gonna be doing reds. Nice triple jump on there. Getting that triple jump to go above that platform can always be a little bit iffy. All right. Now, Drogie does have the Toad star already. He grabbed Toad before TTC. Oh, Benji almost, oh, wow. Benji just got wrecked for no good reason. The game gave him the slightest hint of hope and then just took it right away. Oh man, that was rough to watch. So, like, all the worst bonks in this game are bonks where Mario, like, keeps sliding off of platforms. Like, if you bonk on, like, the staircase right at the end of bits, it's, like, you just slide down so slowly and it wastes so much dumb time. Benji with a really interesting backup to go up to get time jumps on moving bars. I haven't really seen anyone do that for that star before. Okay. Drogie just with get a hand now. And this, even though like this is like maybe 6 or 7 seconds worth of movement to get that time moving triple, there's so many different ways of doing it. Like you see both Benji and Drogie opting for a Mario Cam setup. Benji actually going to take a death there just to be able to try again easily on that. He doesn't have any of his other time moving stars left, so he needs to, I don't know why he didn't go in on time stop there. I guess he mentally committed to doing get a hand now. Or whatever his next star is. But yeah, there are a lot of different setups that you see runners use to try to get that triple jump wall kick. The timing on that has to be very, very precise. Time it too early and you won't be able to get on top of the platform. Time it too late and you won't be able to triple jump on the platform. So every runner just kind of has their own like almost placebo what works best for them. So you see a variety of different setups because of that. Now, Drogie in bits, having some decent movement, just a little bit of dust here and there, but like nothing that's costing him major time. Goes for moving left side on this strat and almost has a decent backup, but not to worry. He's only fallen like about half the stage, so maybe 15 or so seconds. And Drogie's actually just going to go with woodblock strat here. Okay. You normally see this type of movement in like 120 where you have to do it in order to get the red, but you do also see beginners opt for that movement, and it's definitely, once you grind it out, it's more consistent than trying to do the like triple jump wall kicks off of that gray platform. And now Drogie in the final fight with Bowser has chance for a low mid 50, which is not really a bad race time. And Benji just pausing all over the place. Something like a rage pause may seem very stupid as a casual viewer. You're like, why would you pause and lose yourself more time? But honestly, like, when you get really tilted about this game, it's very easy to just make more and more mistakes. And just taking a pause to just calm yourself just a little bit. Like anything like that can actually help with your mentality enough that like the little time loss from the pause might actually like work out in your favor in the end. All right, and Benji's got all of his TTC stars, just has to talk to Toad and he's good to go. Thanks a lot, CS Raver. I am nowhere near as good at this game as these people. I have a 56 as my PB, but I'm trying to get better. One day you might see my name on one of these runner screens. One day, maybe. But GG's to Drogie for this nice finish with a low 50, not a 60. Benji gonna be heading into bits and about to be done with his run himself. Ultimately, just Tippy not treating him super well, and like a lot of this run, he's kind of been playing a little bit in Drogie's shadow, but ultimately, like, GG to him for persevering and having a pretty nice run despite everything. Going for task long jump yet again, and this time not even like bonking on the platform, just completely dying. That long jump, you don't see any runner really go for RTA. It only saves time if you manage to skip the ledge grab, and that's the part of it that really makes it a task strat. You can get a ledge grab off of it fairly easily, but it doesn't save you really any real time. Stupid Poke Nerd, when we say Tippy, we refer to all the stages and anything in the castle past the last star door, or the second last star door. Benji taking another fall. He probably will finish. If he finishes within 5 minutes of Drogie's time, he gets points, which even though our brackets are based on win-loss record, the points will matter in the cases of ties. So if there are multiple people with, say, like a 3-5 win-loss record, the top one will be whoever has the most points. And the points are given based on how close you finish to your opponent. But, like, Tippy refers to, like, the area of the castle that has the clock in it, and it has the loading zone for Rainbow Ride and Wing Mario over the Rainbow, that, like, cloud stage over to the left. And we refer to that as Tippy instead of just saying upstairs, because those two stages that are there, TTC and Rainbow Ride, are both much harder than everything that come before them, and they're a point of a lot of trouble for a lot of runners. So for the sake of like explaining, like, things get really bad in Tippy, like it's a name that we use just to like refer to an area that's distinctly harder from everything else. And like we say Tippy because it's like the tip top of the castle. Okay, and Benji is now in the Bowser fight, so he definitely still has a 53 on the table. Not the greatest run, but I mean, with all the mistakes and such that have gone down, like, this is still an acceptable run. And just, especially with everything that happened in TTC especially, like, this is still all right. Like Benji still had a solid performance for us today here. Nice second hit there. I definitely was not expecting that to hit. And that's going to be it for Benji, finishing out with about like a 53-40 or so. GG's to both players. Drogie especially pulling out a really solid run here. I think this may have been less than a minute behind his PB. I'm not sure. Benji, just an unfortunate ending to the run, but still a pretty solid performance for us today. And that will do it with our Mario 64 70-star League races today here on GSA. Stick around because we've got plenty of speedrun variety content going on 24/7. Come back around tomorrow. We've got Task Tuesdays where we just play various tasks from all around the speedrun community. Or come back on Thursday for some of our Mario Maker 2 League action starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard with Dimitri versus Doomday 31415 in our Expert League. Additionally, all the runners and commentators that you saw today all stream. So if you like what you saw or heard, give us a follow. I know I definitely appreciate it. And I'm sure these runners would as well. If you want more Mario action in Mario 64, our races will begin at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard on next Monday with Punkation versus JJSRL. But for now, I'm Electric. It's been a pleasure calling these matches for you, and I hope to see you all around next week, if not sometime tomorrow or some other time. But for now, peace out. Have a great night, everyone. Goodbye.
They are synced.
They are synced now. Do whatever. In the lead again.
Wow.
Side for sure from Cheese. Okay, doing it moving.
Oh no, the cheese falls!
Cheese